Hello, my name is Thomas Levy. I'm here by London City Airport, which is a great location to start this video because I'm going to be telling you about trends in the aviation and airline industry, so get ready for takeoff. The aviation industry is a business sector which comprises of every aspect of air travel and the activities that help to facilitate it. It covers the entire airline industry, aircraft manufacturing, research companies, military aviation, as well as many other features. The aviation industry has always been an extremely important sector. One of the main reasons for its importance is the globalized nature of the industry. It helps to connect different continents, countries, and cultures. As a result, the global aviation industry has played a massive role in facilitating efficient travel to places, which has enhanced many lives in the process. The aviation industry has massively contributed to global economic growth. This has been because of the tourism industry boosting local economies as well as improvements to global trade. Aircraft manufacturing plays a key role in the aviation industry. The two largest manufacturing companies present in the industry are Airbus and Boeing. The airline industry refers to companies that offer air transport services to paying customers. It can be classed as just one sector operating in the wider aviation industry. There are 13 members of the UK airline industry registered with the Civil Aviation Authority. This includes well-known companies such as British Airways, Virgin Atlantic and EasyJet, as well as more logistical airlines such as Cargologic Air and FedEx Express. The UK industry is still recovering from the effects of the pandemic and is estimated to be only at 40% of pre-pandemic activity. However, air cargo has already recovered and is expected to be in a strong position at the end of 2022, reflecting the ongoing upward trend in global exporting. The UK airline industry has the third largest aviation network in the world. It has a turnover of over £60 billion and contributes over £22 billion to our GDP. Air travel allows people the freedom and ability to travel for many different reasons, including for holidays, business, studying, as well as seeing family and friends, and we can expect that these trends will continue and contribute to increasing passenger numbers and increased profits for airlines. However, with increased focus on being environmentally friendly, the UK as well as global aviation has been looking at more sustainable methods with a focus on things such as local air quality and CO2 emissions. For example, EasyJet have a strong focus on this. They want to lead decarbonisation of aviation and reach zero carbon emissions. In November 2021, the airline joined the UN-backed Race to Zero campaign, where they committed to set an interim science-based target for 2035 and to reach net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Many companies also provide data for their passengers on the carbon footprint for their journey and provide environmental offsets to compensate, for example by planting trees. The aviation industry supports around 87.7 million jobs around the world. This is either directly within the industry or supported through the industry's supply chain, employee spending, and in the aviation-enabled tourism sector. Firstly, the aviation industry supports direct jobs. Around 11.3 million people work within the industry directly in jobs such as airport operators, which has around 648,000 people. Around 5.5 million people work in other airport-based roles, for example in retail, customs and immigration and freight forwarders. 3.6 million people work for airlines in jobs such as flight and cabin crews, check-in, ground services and maintenance staff. Civil airspace has around 1.3 million people working in jobs such as engineers and designers of civil aircraft, engines and components. Air navigation service providers, for example air traffic controllers, has around 237,000 people. On average, these jobs are 4.3 times more productive than average jobs in the economy. Secondly, the aviation industry supports indirect jobs. Over 18.1 million global jobs are supported by aviation through the air transport industry's purchase of goods and services. This includes suppliers to air travel, for example, suppliers of fuel and aircraft components, manufacturers of products sold in airports, and a variety of business support roles, for example in IT. Next, we have induced jobs. The aviation industry supports around 13.5 million induced jobs. Income is used to purchase goods and services for themselves. The spending power supports jobs in retail, consumer goods, and a range of service industries, for example, banks and restaurants. Finally, the aviation supports jobs in tourism. Tourism is rapidly becoming the world's largest industry, and aviation plays a massive role. Aviation supports around 44.8 million jobs in tourism. For example, vacancies including working for hotels, restaurants, visitor attractions, and car rental companies. Next, I'll talk about staffing in the industry. The statistics provided gives a good flavour of the different staffing levels and roles within the aviation and airline industry. Companies will need to regularly review and reflect on whether it has the right employees as it moves into the future ever-changing world. Roles may change, for example, less employees may be needed at boarding as reliance on technology grows. Companies will also need to understand the impact of its productivity and efficiency as its workforce ages if staff turnover is low. In addition, another trend in the industry being championed by EasyJet is focusing on creating a more diverse workforce. For example, they have more than doubled their number of female pilots to more than 260. John Lundgren, EasyJet CEO, states that we continue to focus on challenging gender stereotypes of the career, having doubled the number of female pilots flying with us in recent years. Finally, aviation provides an excellent range of career pathways for people who wish to pursue a career in the industry, with clear pathways in areas that interest them, from operational roles in airports to aircraft manufacturing and learning to pilot planes themselves. There are plenty of job roles within the industry for people to choose from if they wish to pursue a career in it. There are three main regulatory bodies which operate in the aviation industry. Firstly, we have ICAO, which is the International Civil Aviation Organization. They are a specialised agency of the United Nations set up to define international safety as well as environmental and operating standards for civil aviation. ICAO consists of three main organisations, which are the Assembly, the Council and Secretariat. They are funded and directed by 193 national governments to support their diplomacy and cooperation in air transport. They have developed standards, policies and guidelines around issues such as aircraft noise, aircraft engine emissions, airport land use planning and organisation of air traffic movements. Secondly, we have IATA, which is the International Air Transport Association. IATA is a trade association for the world's airlines. They represent around 300 airlines and 83% of total air traffic and support many areas of aviation activity and help to formulate industry policy on aviation issues. IATA have a mission to represent, lead and serve the airline industry. Airline members of IATA enjoy the support of an international organisation which represents, leads and serves one of the most dynamic industries in the world. Membership is open to airlines which offer both scheduled and non-scheduled services. They function through human capital, the environment, IATA economics, as well as legal, government and industry affairs. They have a vision by 2050 of things such as zero accidents, reducing carbon footprints, reducing delays and increasing profitability. Finally, we have ACI, which is the Airport Council International. They were started in 1991 when operators around the world created it. The ACI track airport interests in discussions with international organisations. Their most important relationship is with ICAO. The ACI defends airport positions and develops standards and recommends practices in the areas of safety, security and environment incentives. It also advances and protects airport interests in important policy changes on airport changes and regulation, which strengthens the hand of airports in dealing with airlines. ACI members represent around 96% of the world's passenger traffic. Their world offices are based in Montreal, Canada, and they have geographic regions in Africa, Asia Pacific, Latin America, the Caribbean and North America. They have three main priorities which include safety, environment and airport service quality. Product development is a strategy used by companies to launch new products in existing markets. It is a series of steps that covers the design, development and marketing of a product or service. It is important that a company conducts research on trends in the market to identify if there is room for a new product or what types of products are in high demand. Also, a company must take into consideration the wants and needs of their customers. If this is not completed, the company risks developing and launching a product which is not wanted and therefore will not sell, which will add unnecessary costs such as production costs. For many years, airlines have relied on feedback from customers through comments, focus groups and surveys to configure new product developments. In recent times, there has been an upward trend in the industry of using more sophisticated study methods and technology to discover what pleases customers the most. For example, British Airways have used a sleep study and in-flight trials of sensor-equipped blankets to test how well passengers rest. A good example of finding a gap in its product range was EasyJet's introduction of speedy boarding and seat reservation service. Previously, EasyJet did not provide reserved seating as part of its standard ticket purchase. This resulted in long queues and agitated passengers at the boarding gate because customers would all rush to board the plane in order to sit with their travelling companions. Customers were dissatisfied and many complaints were received. As a result, EasyJet offered, for a small additional fee, the opportunity for customers to choose and reserve their seats when purchasing their ticket, as well as its speedy boarding service, allowing customers to board the plane first and avoid queuing. This has resulted in improved customer experience for those who would like it. The passenger experience can be defined by the physical interactions between airlines and their passengers from check-in through to baggage reclaim. It is how a passenger values their experience when travelling, and some passengers are willing to pay a premium in order to improve their experience. For example, by paying for speedy boarding or to use airport lounges, or by booking business or first class tickets. Conversely, some passengers may only wish to pay the bare minimum in order to save money, as their main priority is getting to their destination and may not be bothered by any added extras which will improve their journey and experience. It is important for airports and airlines to make sure that their passenger experience is the best it possibly can be in order to increase their reputation and increase profit and revenue levels. Passenger experience trends are becoming more important as customers are now less tolerant of a poor experience such as long queues and delays. In recent years, biometrics have become increasingly popular. They can massively transform and improve the passenger experience at airports and make it quicker as well as less stressful and more secure. For example, Emirates have a strong focus on customer satisfaction and have used biometric technology to make their experience seamless and efficient as possible for passengers. Biometric technologies have also been introduced in airports in recent years. Firstly, self-boarding gates have been introduced. Airports have introduced these in order to reduce congestion and improve passenger flow. At the biometric boarding gates, passengers scan their boarding pass and the digital facial scan of the customer is recorded. When they arrive at their boarding gate, their face is matched again with the original scan recorded. Next, e-passport gates have become popular in recent years. They also help to reduce queues and improve passenger flow. When a passenger arrives at their destination, they are able to use e-gates in order to scan their passport and allow them to enter the country. The gates use biometric technology to authenticate the passenger and the customer presenting themselves via facial recognition in order to confirm their identity. And finally, we have self-service bag drop, which enables customers to check in their bags themselves, which reduces wait times as well as reducing costs for extra staff. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has switched on the fasten seatbelt signs as we will shortly be landing into London City. Please return to your seat and fasten your seatbelt. Please ensure the table in front of you has been folded away and your seat back is upright with the armrests down, and please make sure all hand baggage is safely stowed underneath the seat in front of you or in the overhead lockers. We also ask that any electronic items are switched into flight safe mode. Thank you. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and my explanations and analysis of current trends in the airline and aviation industry. In summary, I have provided a good overview of the industry and the key roles within it, such as manufacturing. I have also covered job roles, both direct and indirect, as well as staffing in the industry. Additionally, I have covered the regulatory bodies which are present in the industry. Product development is key to customer satisfaction, as is the need to reduce carbon emissions. My key observations and recommendations from the trends identified is that airlines must work together across the industry to focus on reducing carbon emissions to protect the environment for future generations. In order to stay in business, airlines must truly understand customer needs and wants to be able to deliver the right products and services to satisfy them and improve the customer experience. It is also important for airlines to understand post-COVID resource requirements based on the demand for flights so that the demand is serviced appropriately. For example, in the summer of 2022, more than 32,000 flights were cancelled across London Heathrow, Gatwick and City airports between July and October due to staff shortages. If airlines had more staff available to work on planes, this may have led to less flights being cancelled and in turn less disruption. Additionally, the key to creating greater profitability is through further digital development to improve efficiencies.